I decided to join a clan. That makes sense, right? You know, it grants you the avatar bonus, which starts off at 3%, and then as you do skilling in the clan every week, it increases it by 1% each week up to a max of 6%. Since we're trying to max this account as fast as we can, it seems like it would make sense to use clans. Also, if you talk to the wise old man in Lumbridge Crater during the 20th anniversary event, you get this interesting cosmetic override. Now, I think some cosmetic overrides in this game are ugly as sin, but I think this one's nice. It's very simple, and it's very muted. So I think I'll keep this one on for the time being, just because everything matches and it's nice and uniform, rather than the mismatch I had before. If you guys don't like it, let me know, but I think it looks nice. I like the darker gray tone to it. It's got a very mellow, somber look, which is odd that it's an anniversary outfit, but I'm guessing you could change the colors of it. I like the gray. I'm going to stick with the gray. So as I'd mentioned, we got to level 60 combat, which means we're able to unlock War's Retreat and get the War's Retreat teleport. But to get the teleport, we need to get at least 10 boss kills. So I wasn't sure which boss would be the best boss to kill, but I do know I'll be using magic for it. So here I am buying a Mystic Wand and Orb, which are very cheap, and they're a level 50 item, which is the best item I could use right now, instead of the Mystic Air Staff I've been using. The accuracy on that's not quite as high as I want it to be, and I'd rather use runes to get better accuracy than save air runes, since you don't use that many air runes in combat anyway. The great thing about the War's Retreat teleport is that it's always in your spellbook. You can use it whenever you want, and it brings you very close to a bank. I went to Death to see if he would give me an assignment for the Dagonoth Kings, because the Dagonoth Kings I figured would be the easiest ones to get 10 kills on, since you can safe spot Rex, and he's weak to magic. Death gave me the giant mole as a task. He gave me 4 of them, so I thought, maybe we'll kill 6 Rexes, and then we'll kill 4 moles. Maybe that would work. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I bought and used a Dagonoth King teleport to get here really fast, since we don't have access to War's Retreat's portals yet. You need to kill at least one of the bosses before you can use one, before you can even attune it. Fortunately, Dagonoth Kings have a teleport which teleports you really close to the boss room. Now, nothing particularly interesting happens while I'm killing these guys. I do change the skybox rather, to midday because it looks nicer. I never noticed all these bones in here until I watched a friend's stream of him killing these bosses, and he changed the skybox to midday, and I'm curious what made all these bones. There are so many things in RuneScape that are giant bones, and we have no idea where these giant bones came from. Need to ask the goblins where the Dagonoth Kings got their bones. So while we're killing these things, I have to ask a question. At the time of my recording, the video recording, not the audio recording, but the video recording, there was a huge sale in Solomon's store. I think it was like a January sale. And so one of the legendary pets was on sale for like 75% off. So it was like 250 rune coins, right? Now, I know a lot of people probably are skeptical of the surveys and the rune coin rewards that you can get, but I was actually lucky enough to do a survey and get 750 rune coins from it. It turns out if you do a survey long enough and then it kicks you out and then you complain, you'll get the reward for it. So I haven't spent them yet, and I would never use these survey things for keys. I am totally against that. But what I'm wondering is, should I buy the legendary pet since it is convenient? Now, I'm also against pay for convenience in video games because that incentivizes game developers to make very inconvenient, bad game design that you have to pay to get around, which is completely counterintuitive to what game design should be. You should be making a game that's fun to play, not a game that's frustrating to play that you have to pay to make fun. Anyway, for those who are unaware, it is able to pick up items that enemies drop every 7 or 8 seconds or something like that. It picks up 1 item from the drop. It's pretty convenient. It makes looting a little bit easier. And frankly, I think the legendary pet will serve less of a purpose after the area loot changes are added into the game later this month or next month, where you can run around and have your area loot open and it'll automatically update as you go towards newer things, and it won't close if you loot everything. That'll be a nice update. But the legendary pet is still a convenience, so should I get it or should I not? Since it's so cheap right now, and I don't actually have to pay any money to get it, should I get it? The remainder of the rune coins I'd probably either use on a simple outfit, like the noble outfit, I like that one, or on bank space. Right now, I'm not struggling for bank space, so I'm not even worrying about it. But let me know. I don't want to do anything that seems excessively microtransaction-y. This is specifically why I'm not going to buy a bond to get rune coins or any of that garbage. I hate that. I'm not buying keys. I'm not buying rune coins. I just lucked out and the survey gave me the reward that it promised, and it was a huge reward. So should I get it or should I not? Tell me. We killed 6 Rexes and got nothing particularly interesting, so I finished up there because I was bored and I came to the giant mole. The giant mole was pretty frustrating and actually kind of difficult to do at this low of a level, especially in this room since it kept summoning moles that reduce the damage it takes immediately after I killed the moles. So I was basically just fighting the moles the whole time, the smaller moles, not the big mole. Of course I'd be fighting the big mole the whole time, that's why I'm here. Anyway, we finished up the Reaper assignment and we got a pretty sizable chunk of Slayer XP. With 10 boss kills under our belt, we finally are able to get the War's Retreat teleport. Now I don't have to feel obligated to carry around teleports to the Grand Exchange. I'm probably still going to carry around teleports to the Grand Exchange, however. It's just a convenient place to be. The next thing we want to unlock is the Altar of War. That requires 200 boss kills. That'll take quite some time to do. I'm not going to focus on it right now. Low-level PVM sucks. Hey, did you know I also got 63 construction? That's pretty exciting, isn't it? That means we can build a new room, the aquarium, and build a prawn broker. The prawn broker allows us to spend prawn points, which we accumulate basically by fishing and getting golden fish eggs. Turns out you can get these eggs even if you don't have the aquarium built. That way you don't have to worry about not having the aquarium while you're fishing at lower levels. I didn't know that, so I was pretty much avoiding fishing until I got the aquarium. But now that we have the aquarium, we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. And I can AFK fish as much as I want, and then we'll unlock baitless fishing and featherless fly fishing, and we won't have to worry about bait ever again. That'll be very nice. And for those who are unaware, there's this little bathysphere thing that you can go down into, and you can decorate the inside of your aquarium. You could fill it up with things like seashells and mermaids' purses, and basically these will provide you with, I think every week, gems and planks. It's either every week or every day. I'm not sure which. These shells can provide spirit gems as well, which at higher levels you hate because you always get spirit gems, but at lower levels they're very convenient. Unfortunately, you can't collect anything from the mermaid's purses until you have a higher level diving suit. I believe you need level 80 to use that suit. You can also get a chest down there that you can collect from every week that gives you a free elite clue scroll, which you also need 80 construction to build the diving suit so you can collect the clue scroll from that chest. We'll worry about that at a later date. But leveling construction isn't so bad when you have construction contracts. Since we've been passively leveling up our farming with the player-owned farm, and we have a higher construction level, we can now build a large pen at our player-owned farm. At this level, we can only raise cows in our large pen, which are perfectly fine. They give a pretty decent amount of XP. I'm not going to focus too heavily on them. Basically, I want 54 so we can get chinchompas and just focus on them until we can get to yaks. Yaks also give a pretty good amount of XP. I prefer to raise these animals mostly because they all use the same type of food, which is woad leaves, or at least in my case, woad leaves. You can use anything for chinchompas, and you have to use flowers or seeds or fruit or vegetables for cows, but woad leaves are the cheapest. Yaks are the same as cows. I mean, what is a yak but a furry cow, really? Yeah, I know, taxonomy, yada yada. They're cow enough. Bovines, I suppose. Remember all the build-up with the Evil Dave quests and the cats and the desert and the silver spoon? Well, here we are finally doing Evil Dave's portion of Recipe for Disaster, and as you can see, we finally have an adult cat, so we don't have to worry about our kitten being an idiot. I was raising it while I was doing construction contracts so we can get 63 construction for the aquarium. Look at me multitask. They say it shouldn't take you more than 9 stews to figure out exactly what Evil Dave wants, but I don't know if that's totally accurate. Either way, the way of figuring out is pretty simple. You put 1 spice in the stew. If he doesn't like it, do 2 spices. If he doesn't like that, then you know he wants 3 of that color. Then you move on to the next spice. You try 1 spice. If he doesn't like it, you do 2 spices. If he doesn't like that, then you know he needs 3 of that spice. You repeat this process for the next 2 spices. When you know how much of each spice he wants, you put all of those spices into 1 stew, give it to him, and then that'll be correct. You take that stew to Evil Dave in Lumbridge, and then you complete the quest. Commentating this now makes me realize why I messed up and why I needed more than 9 stews. It's because I thought there was a possibility that he would want 4 spices. So I tried 3 spices on a stew. I think 2 of my randomly generated spices had to be 3 spices, so effectively I used 2 stews I didn't have to use. Take my advice. If he doesn't like 1 and he doesn't like 2, then you know he likes 3, don't try 3. You'll waste your stews. Don't waste your stews. Either way, we finished without much complaint from Dave. But now we want to move on to Evil Dave's Big Day Out. This quest is stupid and silly, and it's not stupid and silly in a fun way, it's stupid and silly in a why are we bothering with this type of way. A lot of people like this quest. I don't. If you like it, that's fine. Just know that I disagree with you. So the weird thing about this quest is it's basically a Freaky Friday sort of situation where you and Dave switch bodies. But at the same time, you start acting like Dave, and for some reason, when his mother scolds you, you accept it as if you aren't an adventurer who's slain demons before. Regardless, the quest gives a lot of experience at the end. My biggest criticism of the quest, besides all the subjective, I don't think it's funny stuff, is that Dave in your body will do quests that either you have already done or haven't done yet. But for the ones you have done, you have to wonder why you're able to do them again, like Wanted. This part of the quest is also odd. You straight up murder a white knight. Yeah. You blow him up. And you know he's dead because his shoes fell off. But hey, might as well take them. I mean, they're free shoes, right? So we finished the quest. That white knight's family will never have justice. But we get a lot of XP. 50,000 magic XP, 20,000 herbal or agility and cooking XP, and the ability to catch hell rats with your bare hands. Now if we want to boost 5 levels for an effigy that we might get at some point in the future, even though it's going to be a long way away, we won't have to use a cat to get the spices. Look at all the levels we got. We got 3 magic levels, 7 herbal levels, 4 agility levels, and 3 cooking levels just from one quest. The quest has like no requirements either, it's great. There's a lot of quests you have to do before that quest to be able to do that quest. But other than that, it's a lot of XP. Gunner's Ground is a quest that replaced Romeo and Juliet back in 2010. But we're only doing it because it gives a lot of quest points. And we want all those quest points so we can get more rewards from May's quest Caravan. Done and done, real simple. One of the rewards from the quest is that you can return to Gunner every so often in the house that Romeo and Juliet used to live in before the remake, and you can engrave something for him. I'm not sure what the exact breakpoints are for each reward, but we're able to claim the first one by engraving a ruby amulet for him. We get 2,000 crafting XP for doing that for him, and the lamp from the quest we use on crafting as well, and we get 200 XP. Ernest the Chicken is one of those strange quests that's been in the game for ages. It gives 4 quest points. This was back when they gave a lot of quest points for quests for some reason. New quests don't give that many quest points anymore. While we're here, we go to the back of Draenor Manor and dig up the Draenor skull, because if I remember correctly, we'll need that later for a different quest. We're now rich. We're given 3,000 coins, 10 eggs, and 300 feathers for completing the quest. But what's more important is that we can go to May, get some more of the Armor of Trials armor, and get another dice reward. What do we get? 250k and a fortunate component, which we can sell for about $1 million. Not bad. So I was woodcutting for a while. Here's what our stats are looking like. We're at 50 woodcutting now. But I think we're going to go back to doing some quests. Let's do an easy one. Tribal Totem. We come here in Karamja and talk to Kangai Mao, and he tells us that one of his totems was taken. It's a very easy quest, and it gives you 5 swordfish as a reward. This is obviously an old quest because it gives you a very strange reward. We complete the quest and we get thieving XP, which is exactly what we want. Now, I wasn't aware of this, but apparently you can use penguin points without doing any of the penguin quests. You just need to talk to Larry in the zoo. So we talk to him, and we're going to spend a penguin point because it's a requirement for the Ardoin Diary, which we want to do before we move on to doing a little more thieving. On our continued journey to get thieving XP, we do the buyers and sellers main quest, and then we'll continue doing the mini quests until we can't do mini quests no more. Part of the quest requires us to light a fire outside of Father Ernie's house. Is that how you say his name? Ernie? Erne? But because we're a raging lunatic, we also killed a rat before we did this. We got its meat, and then we cooked its meat outside of his burning house. Why did we do this? Because all of these things are requirements for the Lumberjee task set. We're not going to complete it just yet, but I figured since we're here, let's do it. We finish up buyers and sellers, and we start the mini quest immediately afterwards. In this quest, we basically pay a dwarf to make a thing for us, then we steal the thing he made from us, and then demand our money back. We are not heroes. The feud is a quest that sends us down to Polnivnich. Ali Morisane wants us to go meet his nephew, Ali, down in Polnivnich. The problem is, at one point, everybody's name in Polnivnich was Ali. This was changed recently because Jagex figured it was a bit unwise to have everybody in a desert region in their game named Ali. Opinions on this differ. That's as much as I'll say. We need Ukthanki Dung for other quests, one of which is My Arm's Big Adventure, which we'll do in the future, so we're going to collect some extra now. We continue on with the main part of the quest by defeating the tough guy, who ain't so tough, and then we move on to the bandit champion, who is also not very champion-y, but he is totally a bandit. Turns out Ali was kind of a liar, but it doesn't matter, we got 15,000 thieving XP. So we move on to Biohazard because we want to get the Ardoin Cape 1. Doing Biohazard is the one roadblock that's keeping us from completing that task set. It gives us 3 quest points and 1250 thieving XP, so that's pretty good. We love quest points. We talk to the good doctor in the church, and he rewards us with the Ardoin Cape 1 and an antique lamp, which we use on a skill that I can't remember we used it on, but it was probably agility. What's nice is we now have a Kandaren Monastery teleport, and because of the Comp Cape rework, we actually don't need the cape with us to teleport there, so it's now in our spellbook. It's great. But the cape itself was pretty good as well. It's got some decent stats. Oh, no, we used the lamp on... What do we use it on? Come on, past me. What are you going to use it on? Figure it out. What are you doing? Pick something. Summoning. We use it on summoning. The cape also gives us an increased chance to steal from stalls in Ardoin and some noted drops from creature creation. Mostly we like the teleport, some Castle Wars boosts, we could trade our cat for more stuff, and we get additional chompy birds while hunting. But hunting chompy birds is, I believe, a trimmed comp thing, and I have no intention of ever doing that. I hate hunting chompy birds, it's boring. There's a task set in old school where it's a requirement. I have no intention of ever getting that task set done. It's actually kind of demotivating whenever I try to play old school because there are tasks in those task sets that I don't want to do, but I hate not having task sets complete. It's a real shame. We're going to end this video off with some smithing. I want to try to keep my smithing and mining in lockstep, keep them really close together. The convenient thing about the mining and smithing rework, I was actually about to say it was the recent mining and smithing rework, but I believe it came out like 2 years ago. Anyway, the convenient thing about it is that you can sort of train it like an Iron Man if you train them both together. I do think mining will pull ahead a bit. I know in my Iron Man I have 99 mining but 95 smithing, but that may have just been because I mined more than I smithed. I do have extra ore lying around, and mining is a lot more AFK, so you can kind of have it running in the background while you do other things. I like the mining and smithing rework though, they did a really good job with it, and I love the sound effects when you're smithing. It just sounds so chunky and so just meaty swings, just dong dong. The sound design is excellent. Not that that's important because I play with sound off anyway, but when I had the sound on, it was good. Anyway, that's it for this video. I think we made a pretty good amount of progress this time around. Hopefully in the next video we'll have a high enough farming level so we can start farming chinchompas. And then once we raise enough chinchompas, we'll have enough beans that we can buy the breeding pen farmhand and make a bunch of gold passively through that. Thank you for watching. Take care.